Welcome. If you're listening to this audiobook, chances are you're looking for a way to quiet your mind, relieve stress, and take back control of your mental space. You've probably found yourself caught in a never-ending loop of thoughts, replaying conversations, overanalyzing situations, and worrying about things that might never happen. You're not alone. Overthinking is something that almost everyone struggles with at some point. In fact, it's become an all too common problem in today's fast-paced, information-overloaded world. We live in a time when distractions are endless, responsibilities are growing, and the pressure to perform is at an all-time high. With the constant stream of information, social media, and expectations from work and life, it's no wonder that so many of us find our minds racing at 100 miles per hour. What starts as a simple question or task can quickly spiral into hours of analyzing, doubting, and second-guessing. Unfortunately, this kind of thinking can have profound effects on our mental health, relationships, and productivity. The more we overthink, the less we are able to enjoy the present moment, and the more we feed into stress, anxiety, and fear. Overthinking isn't just mentally exhausting, it can physically drain you too. It often leads to poor sleep, fatigue, irritability, and a sense of being overwhelmed. When we're trapped in our heads, it's hard to focus on what's right in front of us. We miss out on the joy of connecting with others, the satisfaction of accomplishing tasks, and the sense of peace that comes with being fully present in the moment. This audiobook is here to guide you toward relief. We'll explore powerful techniques to help you clear the mental clutter, regain clarity, and live more mindfully. Whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or simply the frustration of constantly feeling like you're thinking too much, the goal here is simple: to help you create a sense of calm, to relieve the pressure that overthinking places on your life, and to empower you to embrace the present moment. Through practical tools and mindfulness strategies, we'll break down the ways in which overthinking impacts your daily life and explore actionable steps that you can take to quiet the noise in your mind. Over the course of this audiobook, you'll learn how to rewire your brain for less rumination, less stress, and more presence. By the end of our time together, you'll have the tools you need to cultivate a clearer, calmer mind and a more centered, focused life. The first step to overcoming overthinking is realizing that you don't have to stay stuck in this mental loop. You have the power to break free. Let's dive in and begin this journey to find peace, clarity, and a greater connection to the present moment. Chapter 1. Understanding Overthinking. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Jon Kabat-Zinn. Have you ever felt trapped inside your own mind? The more you try to think your way out of a problem, the deeper into it you seem to sink. You replay the same conversation over and over, analyzing every detail, every word, every possible interpretation. You imagine scenarios. What could have gone wrong? What might go wrong? Or what you should have done differently? It's as if your mind is stuck on an endless loop, churning through thoughts that never lead to answers. This is overthinking. And while it might feel like you're solving problems, what you're really doing is exhausting yourself. Overthinking is one of the most common mental habits, yet it's also one of the most misunderstood. It feels like a natural response to stress or uncertainty. After all, if you're feeling unsure or worried, isn't thinking about it the responsible thing to do? The problem is, overthinking isn't about solving problems. It's about spinning in circles. It drains your mental energy, clouds your judgment, and keeps you stuck. If you've ever felt paralyzed by your thoughts, you're not alone, and you're not broken. Overthinking is a learned behavior, one that many of us develop as a way to cope with life's uncertainties. The good news? Just as it's learned, it can be unlearned. But before we dive into how to stop overthinking, we need to understand it. What exactly is overthinking? Why do we do it? And most importantly, how is it impacting your life in ways you might not even realize? This first chapter is about building awareness because awareness is the first step to change. By the end of this chapter, you'll have a clear understanding of what overthinking is, why it happens, and why it's worth breaking free from this habit. What is overthinking? At its core, overthinking is the habit of dwelling on thoughts in a way that creates more stress than solutions. It's when your mind fixates on a problem, a situation, or even a small detail, replaying it over and over in an attempt to gain control or clarity. Overthinking can feel productive. It feels like you're being responsible, like you're preparing for every possible outcome or making sure you didn't miss something important. But in reality, overthinking is the opposite of productive. Instead of helping you solve problems, it keeps you stuck in a loop of worry and doubt. Overthinking can show up in two main ways. 1. Ruminating on the past. This is when you replay past events, often focusing on mistakes, regrets, or things you wish you'd done differently. For example, you might replay a conversation from last week, wondering if you said the wrong thing, or worrying about how the other person interpreted your words. 2. Worrying about the future. This is when your mind fixates on potential problems or worst-case scenarios. You might find yourself imagining all the things that could go wrong in an upcoming meeting or stressing about decisions you haven't even made yet. Both forms of overthinking pull you out of the present moment and trap you in a cycle of stress. They make you feel like you're doing something productive, but in reality, you're just spinning your wheels. Why do we overthink? Overthinking isn't random. It's rooted in the way our brains are wired and the way we respond to stress, uncertainty, and fear. To understand why we overthink, it helps to look at the brain's primary job, keeping us safe. Your brain is constantly scanning for threats, trying to protect you from harm. This was incredibly useful for our ancestors, who needed to be hyper-aware of dangers like predators or environmental hazards. But in today's world, where most of our threats are psychological rather than physical, this same mechanism often backfires. Here are some of the main reasons we overthink. 1. Fear of uncertainty. Humans crave certainty. Not knowing what's going to happen can feel deeply uncomfortable, so we overthink as a way to try to predict or control the future. 2. Desire for control. When we're faced with situations we can't control, overthinking gives us the illusion of control. It feels like if we think about it enough, we can influence the outcome. 3. Perfectionism. If you're someone who strives for perfection, you might find yourself obsessing over every detail, worrying about making mistakes, or replaying situations to make sure you did it right. 4. Low self-esteem. When you doubt yourself or your abilities, you're more likely to overanalyze your actions or worry about how others perceive you. 5. Information overload. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with information: news, social media, emails, notifications. This makes it harder to process our thoughts and can lead to mental overwhelm. Understanding these triggers is important because it helps you see that overthinking isn't your fault. It's a natural response to the pressures of modern life. But while it's natural, it's not helpful. And that's why we need to learn how to break free from it. The hidden costs of overthinking. Overthinking might seem harmless, but it comes with hidden costs. When you're stuck in your head, it affects not just your mental health, but also your emotional well-being, your relationships, and even your physical health. 1. Emotional exhaustion. Overthinking drains your energy. The more you dwell on your thoughts, the more emotionally and mentally fatigued you become. 2. Decision paralysis. The more you overthink, the harder it becomes to make decisions. You get stuck in analysis paralysis, afraid to make the wrong choice. 3. Strained relationships. Overthinking can cause you to misinterpret others' words or actions, leading to unnecessary conflict or insecurity. It can also make it hard to communicate openly because you're too caught up in your own worries. 4. Physical health issues. Overthinking activates your body's stress response, which over time can lead to anxiety, insomnia, headaches, and even chronic conditions like high blood pressure. 5. Lost time and joy. When you're stuck in your head, you miss out on the present moment. Overthinking robs you of the simple joys of life, keeping you focused on problems instead of possibilities. Take a moment to reflect. How has overthinking impacted your life? Have you noticed it holding you back from happiness, peace, or progress? Recognizing the signs of overthinking. Overthinking often feels so natural that you might not even realize you're doing it. Here are some common signs that you're caught in the overthinking trap. You replay conversations or situations in your mind, analyzing every detail. You constantly worry about worst-case scenarios even when they're unlikely. You second-guess your decisions and struggle to move forward. You seek reassurance from others to calm your doubts. You feel mentally overwhelmed but can't seem to turn off your thoughts. If these signs resonate with you, don't be hard on yourself. Awareness is the first step to change. Simply recognizing these patterns is a sign that you're ready to take back control. Breaking the myth of productivity. One of the biggest misconceptions about overthinking is that it's productive. We tell ourselves, if I just think about this a little more, I'll figure it out. But here's the truth. Thinking alone rarely solves problems. Solutions come from action, not endless analysis. Imagine you're trying to untangle a knot. If you keep pulling at the same strands, you'll only tighten the knot further. Overthinking works the same way. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is step back, take a breath, and approach the problem from a fresh perspective. Your first step forward. Now that you understand the nature of overthinking, you've already taken an important step. Awareness is the foundation of change. You don't have to stay stuck in this cycle. You have the power to quiet your mind, find clarity, and live more fully in the present moment. In the next part of this audiobook, we'll explore the connection between stress and overthinking. You'll learn how these two forces fuel each other and how to break the cycle. For now, let this be your takeaway. Overthinking is not who you are. It's simply a habit that you can unlearn. Take a deep breath, hold it for a moment, and then let it out slowly. With that breath, remind yourself that clarity and calm are within your reach. This is just the beginning of your journey, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Chapter 2. The Stress-Overthinking Connection. Stress is not what happens to us. It's our response to what happens, and the response is something we can choose. Maureen Killoran, stress and overthinking are like two sides of the same coin, feeding off one another in a vicious cycle. When you're stressed, your thoughts start to spiral, racing from one worry to the next. And the more you overthink, the more stressed you feel, as though the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders. It's exhausting, isn't it? It can feel like you're carrying a storm inside your head, unable to focus, unable to breathe, and unable to move forward. This connection between stress and overthinking is critical to understand because it's often the root cause of why you feel stuck. Once you recognize how stress and overthinking are intertwined, you can begin to unravel the cycle and find a sense of calm. Let's start by looking at what stress really is. Stress is your body's natural response to a perceived threat. When you feel threatened, whether physically, emotionally, or mentally, your brain activates the fight or flight response. This response is designed to protect you by releasing hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare your body to face danger. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your mind sharpens its focus. This is incredibly useful when you're dealing with a real immediate threat, like swerving to avoid a car accident. But the problem is that your brain can't always tell the difference between a real threat and a perceived one. A deadline at work, an argument with a loved one, or even a vague sense of uncertainty can trigger the same stress response, leaving you in a constant state of alert. Now here's where overthinking comes into play. When you're stressed, your brain goes into overdrive, trying to solve the problem that's causing the stress. It's as though your mind is saying, if I can just figure this out, I'll feel better. But instead of finding solutions, your thoughts start to spiral. You replay the situation over and over, trying to make sense of it, trying to anticipate what might happen next. And because stress narrows your focus, it becomes harder to see the bigger picture or consider alternative perspectives. Your mind gets stuck on a loop, fixating on the problem instead of moving toward a solution. This is why stress and overthinking often go hand in hand. Stress triggers overthinking, and overthinking amplifies stress. It's a feedback loop that can feel impossible to escape. The more you think about the problem, the more stressed you feel. And the more stressed you feel, the harder it is to stop thinking about it. Over time, this cycle can take a serious toll on your mental and physical health. Chronic stress and overthinking can lead to anxiety, depression, insomnia, and even physical issues like headaches, digestive problems, and high blood pressure. How stress hijacks your brain. To understand why stress and overthinking are so closely linked, it helps to look at how stress affects your brain. When you're stressed, the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for detecting threats, becomes hyperactive. This is the part of your brain that tells you to fight, flee, or freeze in the face of danger. While the amygdala is great at keeping you safe from immediate threats, it's not so great at handling the complexities of modern life. When the amygdala is in charge, it hijacks your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, decision-making, and problem-solving. This is why, when you're stressed, it's harder to think clearly or make decisions. Your brain is too busy reacting to the perceived threat to focus on anything else. This is also why stress often leads to overthinking. With your prefrontal cortex sidelined, your mind gets stuck in reactive mode, replaying the same thoughts and worries over and over. This hijacking of your brain is one of the main reasons why stress and overthinking are so hard to break out of. When you're caught in the cycle, it's not just a matter of willpower or thinking positive. Your brain is wired to focus on the threat, making it incredibly difficult to step back and see the bigger picture. The emotional toll of the stress overthinking cycle. The stress overthinking cycle doesn't just affect your brain. It also takes a significant emotional toll. When you're caught in this cycle, you might feel a constant sense of unease, as though something is always wrong. You might feel irritable, overwhelmed, or even hopeless. Over time, this emotional weight can start to affect your relationships, your work, and your overall sense of well-being. For many people, the stress overthinking cycle also leads to feelings of guilt or self-blame. You might find yourself thinking, why can't I just stop worrying? Or, why am I making such a big deal out of this? But blaming yourself only adds to the stress, creating yet another layer of overthinking. It's important to recognize that this cycle is not a reflection of your character or your abilities. It's a natural response to the pressures and uncertainties of life. Breaking the cycle. Awareness is key. The first step to breaking the stress overthinking cycle is awareness. You can't change what you're not aware of, so it's essential to start noticing when you're caught in this loop. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. Are you replaying a situation in your mind? Are you imagining worst-case scenarios? Are you feeling tense, anxious, or overwhelmed? These are all signs that you're in the stress overthinking cycle. Once you've recognized the cycle, the next step is to create a pause. This might sound simple, but it can be incredibly powerful. When you're caught in the cycle, your mind is racing and your body is tense. Creating a pause allows you to step out of the reactive mode and into a more intentional state of mind. Here's a simple way to create a pause. 1. Take a deep breath. When you're stressed, your breathing tends to become shallow and rapid. Taking a deep, slow breath can help calm your nervous system and bring your focus back to the present moment. 2. Acknowledge your thoughts. Instead of trying to push your thoughts away, simply acknowledge them. You might say to yourself, "I'm noticing that I'm feeling stressed," or "I'm noticing that my mind is racing." 3. Ground yourself in the present. Bring your attention to your senses. What can you see, hear, or feel right now? This can help pull you out of your thoughts and into the present moment. Moving forward, understanding the connection between stress and overthinking is a critical step toward breaking the cycle. When you recognize how these two forces feed off each other, you can begin to approach them with greater clarity and compassion. Remember, overthinking and stress are not a reflection of who you are. They're simply habits that your mind has developed in response to life's challenges. And like any habit, they can be changed. In the next part of this audiobook, we'll dive deeper into practical techniques for managing stress and calming your mind. You'll learn tools and strategies that can help you create more space in your thoughts so you can respond to life's challenges with clarity and confidence. For now, take a moment to pause and breathe. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel stressed. It's a natural part of being human. And remind yourself that you have the power to break free from the cycle of stress and overthinking. This is just the beginning of your journey, and I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Chapter 3. Escaping the Thought Spiral. You don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. Dan Millman. If stress and overthinking form the cycle that keeps your mind trapped, then the thought spiral is the feeling of being sucked into that endless loop of worry, doubt, and mental noise. A thought spiral can start innocently enough. One small worry about the future, a fleeting moment of doubt, or a harmless reflection on the past. But before you know it, that one thought gathers momentum, picking up more worries along the way, until it feels as though your entire mind has been hijacked. It's as if you're falling down a mental rabbit hole, unable to stop yourself from spiraling deeper and deeper. The thought spiral is exhausting. It can rob you of focus, clarity, and peace of mind. And while it's easy to feel powerless in the face of it, the truth is that you have more control than you think. The thought spiral is not a force of nature. It's a habit, a pattern of thinking that your brain has fallen into over time. And like any habit, it can be disrupted and replaced. In this part of the audiobook, we'll explore how to recognize when you're in a thought spiral, why your brain falls into this pattern, and, most importantly, how to break free. By the end of this chapter, you'll have practical tools to interrupt the spiral, calm your mind, and regain control of your thoughts. Why do we spiral? To break free from a thought spiral, it's important to understand why it happens in the first place. Thought spirals are rooted in two key factors: the brain's negativity bias and the habit of mental rumination. 1. The brain's negativity bias. Your brain is wired to focus on negative information more than positive information. This is a survival mechanism that helped our ancestors stay alert to danger. If you were living in the wild, it would be far more important to notice a predator lurking in the bushes than to admire a beautiful sunset. While this negativity bias was essential for survival in the past, it often works against us in today's world. Your brain still tends to fixate on potential threats, even when they're not life-threatening, like an awkward social interaction or a looming deadline. 2. The habit of rumination. Rumination is the habit of repeatedly thinking about the same problem or worry without making any progress toward a solution. When you ruminate, you're not actively solving a problem. You're simply replaying it in your mind. Rumination often feels like problem solving, which is why it's so easy to get stuck in this pattern. But instead of moving you forward, rumination keeps you stuck, amplifying your worries and feeding the thought spiral. Recognizing the spiral. The first step to breaking free from a thought spiral is to recognize when you're in one. This might sound simple, but it can be surprisingly difficult. Thought spirals often feel automatic, like they're happening to you rather than something you're doing. But the moment you can step back and notice the spiral, you've already taken the first step toward regaining control. Here are some common signs that you're in a thought spiral. You're replaying a past event over and over, analyzing every detail. You're imagining worst-case scenarios about the future. Your thoughts feel repetitive, as though you're stuck on a loop. You're feeling increasingly anxious, overwhelmed, or frustrated. You're struggling to focus on anything other than the thoughts in your head. If any of these signs resonate with you, take a moment to pause. Recognizing the spiral is a powerful act of awareness. It's the first step toward breaking free. Interrupting the spiral. Once you've recognized the thought spiral, the next step is to interrupt it. This means creating a break in the loop of repetitive thoughts, giving your mind a chance to reset. Interrupting the spiral doesn't mean pushing your thoughts away or pretending they don't exist. It's about shifting your focus and creating space for clarity. Here are 3 powerful techniques to interrupt a thought spiral. 1. Name it to tame. One of the most effective ways to interrupt a thought spiral is to name what's happening. This might sound overly simple, but it can have a profound effect on your mind. When you name the spiral, "I'm spiraling right now," or "I'm overthinking this," you activate the rational part of your brain, which helps you step out of the emotional loop. Naming it creates a sense of distance between you and your thoughts, reminding you that you are not your thoughts. 2. Engage your senses. When you're caught in a thought spiral, your mind is focused on the past or the future. Bringing your attention back to the present moment can help interrupt the spiral. One of the easiest ways to do this is to engage your senses. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This grounding exercise shifts your focus away from your thoughts and back to your immediate surroundings. 3. Take a physical action. Sometimes, the best way to interrupt a thought spiral is to physically change your environment. Stand up, stretch, go for a walk, or even splash your face with cold water. Physical movement can help break the cycle of repetitive thoughts, giving your mind a chance to reset, replacing the spiral with clarity. Interrupting the thought spiral is an important step, but it's only the beginning. To truly break free, you need to replace the spiral with something more productive and calming. This means shifting your focus from rumination to intentional thinking. Here are some ways to replace the spiral with clarity. Ask yourself better questions. Instead of asking, "What if everything goes wrong?" ask, "What's the next small step I can take?" Shifting your focus to action-oriented questions can help you move forward. Practice self-compassion. When you're in a thought spiral, it's easy to be hard on yourself. Instead, try speaking to yourself with kindness and understanding. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel overwhelmed and that you're doing your best. Focus on what you can control. Thought spirals often involve worrying about things outside of your control. Bring your focus back to what you can influence in the present moment. Moving forward. The thought spiral might feel overwhelming, but it's not unbreakable. With awareness, intention, and practice, you can learn to interrupt the spiral and replace it with clarity and calm. Remember, breaking free from the thought spiral is not about eliminating your thoughts. It's about changing your relationship with them. You have the power to step out of the loop, take a breath, and move forward with intention. In the next part of this audiobook, we'll explore how to build resilience against overthinking. You'll learn how to strengthen your mind, manage stress, and create habits that support a calm and focused mindset. For now, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Recognize the power of awareness and remind yourself that each step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward freedom. This journey is yours, and you're already on your way. Chapter 4. Building Mental Resilience to Overthinking. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Jon Kabat-Zinn. Breaking free from overthinking isn't just about interrupting the spirals in the moment. It's about building a mindset that makes you more resilient to overthinking in the first place. Overthinking often stems from feeling overwhelmed by uncertainty, self-doubt, or the endless stream of life's challenges. Without the tools to navigate these moments, your mind naturally defaults to overanalyzing as a way to regain a sense of control. But what if you could equip yourself with the inner strength to handle uncertainty and adversity with confidence and calm? Resilience is the foundation of that strength. Mental resilience is not about avoiding difficulties or ignoring challenges. It's about learning how to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and maintain your inner balance even when life feels chaotic. Think of resilience as your mental muscle. Just like physical strength, it can be developed and strengthened with consistent practice. And as you build your resilience, you'll find that overthinking becomes less of a default reaction and more of an occasional visitor that you're able to manage with ease. In this chapter, we'll explore the habits, mindsets, and techniques that can help you build resilience against overthinking. By the end of this part, you'll have practical strategies to strengthen your mental foundation, so you're better equipped to face life's uncertainties without falling into the trap of overthinking. The role of resilience in overthinking resilience is the ability to recover quickly from stress, setbacks, and challenges. It's what allows you to face uncertainty without feeling paralyzed by it. When you're resilient, you're less likely to get stuck in the loop of overthinking because you trust your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Without resilience, small challenges can feel overwhelming, and uncertainty can trigger a cascade of anxious thoughts. But with resilience, you develop a sense of inner stability that keeps you grounded, no matter what's happening around you. One of the reasons resilience is so effective at preventing overthinking is that it shifts your mindset from fear to curiosity. Instead of fearing what might go wrong, resilience helps you approach challenges with the belief that you'll figure it out, no matter the outcome. This shift in perspective is powerful because overthinking thrives on fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. When you replace that fear with confidence in your ability to adapt, you take away overthinking's primary fuel. Habits that build resilience. Building resilience isn't something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process that requires consistent effort and practice. But the good news is that small, intentional changes in your daily life can have a significant impact over time. Here are some key habits that can help you develop mental resilience. 1. Cultivate self-awareness. Self-awareness is the foundation of resilience. When you're aware of your thoughts, emotions, and triggers, you're better equipped to respond to them in a constructive way. Start by checking in with yourself regularly. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I thinking about? How is this affecting me? Journaling can also be a powerful tool for self-awareness, helping you identify patterns in your thinking and behavior. 2. Practice emotional regulation. Resilience isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about learning how to manage them in a healthy way. When you feel overwhelmed or anxious, take a moment to pause and breathe. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming your body and mind. You can also try techniques like mindfulness or meditation to help you stay present and grounded. 3. Focus on what you can control. One of the biggest triggers for overthinking is focusing on things outside of your control. Resilient people understand that while they can't control everything, they can control how they respond. Make a habit of identifying what's within your control in any given situation and channel your energy toward those things. 4. Build a support system. Resilience is not a solo endeavor. Having a strong support system of friends, family, or mentors can make a huge difference. When you're feeling overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out for help or perspective. Sometimes, simply talking things through with someone you trust can help you break free from overthinking. 5. Develop a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that challenges and failures are opportunities for growth rather than setbacks. When you approach life with a growth mindset, you're less likely to get stuck in overthinking because you view difficulties as temporary and solvable. Embrace the idea that every experience, good or bad, is a chance to learn and improve. Mindsets that support resilience. In addition to building habits, cultivating certain mindsets can help you develop a more resilient approach to life. Here are 3 key mindsets to focus on. 1. Acceptance. Resilience begins with accepting that life is inherently uncertain and imperfect. This doesn't mean you have to like every situation you're in, but it does mean recognizing that some things are beyond your control. When you stop fighting reality and start accepting it, you free up mental energy that would otherwise be spent on overthinking. 2. Optimism. Optimism doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to focus on possibilities rather than problems. Resilient people look for silver linings even in difficult situations. They ask themselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? This positive outlook helps them stay motivated and forward-focused even in the face of setbacks. 3. Adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and resilience requires the ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Instead of clinging to rigid expectations, practice being flexible and open to new possibilities. When things don't go as planned, remind yourself that you have the strength and resourcefulness to navigate the unexpected. Techniques for strengthening resilience. In addition to habits and mindsets, there are specific techniques you can use to strengthen your resilience and reduce overthinking. Here are a few to try. 1. Visualization. Visualization is a powerful tool for building resilience. Take a few minutes each day to imagine yourself handling challenges with confidence and calm. Picture yourself navigating uncertainty with ease, making clear decisions, and staying grounded in the face of stress. This mental rehearsal can help train your brain to respond to challenges in a more resilient way. 2. Gratitude practice. Gratitude is a simple but effective way to shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. Each day, take a moment to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small, anything from a kind word from a friend to a beautiful sunset. Gratitude helps you reframe your perspective, making it easier to focus on the positive aspects of your life rather than getting stuck in overthinking. 3. Micro-challenges. One way to build resilience is to intentionally expose yourself to small, manageable challenges. These micro-challenges can help you develop confidence in your ability to handle adversity. For example, you might challenge yourself to have a difficult conversation, try a new activity, or step out of your comfort zone in some way. Each time you successfully navigate a challenge, you build resilience and reduce your tendency to overthink. Moving forward, building resilience takes time, but it's one of the most valuable investments you can make in yourself. With each small step, you'll find that you're better able to navigate life's challenges without falling into the trap of overthinking. Resilience is not about being perfect or never feeling overwhelmed. It's about developing the strength to keep moving forward, no matter what. In the next part of this audiobook, we'll dive into the art of letting go, how to release the thoughts, fears, and doubts that keep you stuck in the past or worried about the future. For now, take a moment to appreciate the progress you've already made. Each step you take is a step toward greater clarity, peace, and confidence. You are stronger than you realize, and this journey is yours to own. Keep going. You're doing amazing work. Chapter 5. The Art of Letting Go, Releasing What We Can't Control. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. Thich Nhat Hanh. Have you ever found yourself holding on so tightly to an idea, a situation, or a past experience that it almost feels like you're suffocating beneath the weight of it? The truth is, most of our suffering, stress, and overthinking arise from our reluctance to let go. We cling to thoughts, fears, expectations, and even regrets, believing that holding on will somehow give us control or prevent things from slipping out of our grasp. But the irony is that the tighter we hold on, the more we rob ourselves of peace, joy, and clarity. Letting go isn't a one-time event. It's a practice, a powerful way to reclaim your mental and emotional freedom. It's about acknowledging that there are things in life that you simply cannot control and releasing the grip that holds you in place. When you embrace the art of letting go, you create space for new opportunities, growth, and most importantly, peace. But how do we let go of something so deeply ingrained in our thoughts, emotions, and habits? How do we truly release the burdens that we carry, whether it's a fear of the unknown, past mistakes, or the weight of unspoken expectations? In this chapter, we'll explore the art of letting go, how it's not about giving up, but about creating the mental space to live with more clarity, less stress, and greater freedom. Letting go is one of the most liberating practices you can adopt, and by the end of this part of the audiobook, you'll have practical tools to help you release what no longer serves you and embrace life with a sense of ease and presence. Understanding the need to let go. To let go, we must first understand why it is so difficult. Human beings naturally crave control and certainty. We want to know what will happen next and how things will unfold. This need for control is often tied to our desire for security, stability, and predictability. Unfortunately, life rarely operates within these parameters. The world is unpredictable, people change, and situations shift in ways we can't always anticipate. Despite this, we tend to hold on to the belief that if we think about something enough, if we analyze it, plan for it, or worry about it, we can control the outcome. Overthinking thrives in this space. When we overthink, we convince ourselves that if we can just figure it out, we'll have control over the situation. However, this pattern of mental rumination doesn't bring us clarity or relief. It keeps us stuck in a loop of worry and doubt. Letting go requires us to acknowledge that there is only so much we can control. The rest, whether it's other people's actions, future events, or outcomes, is beyond our grasp. Once we accept this truth, letting go becomes much easier. It's not about abandoning responsibility or disengaging from life. It's about releasing the need to control every variable and trusting that we can handle whatever comes our way. Letting go of past regrets. One of the most common reasons people struggle to let go is that they are burdened by past mistakes, regrets, or unresolved issues. We tend to replay these moments in our minds, wishing we had acted differently, or wishing we could change the past. But the past, by its very nature, is unchangeable. No amount of thinking, regretting, or wishing will rewrite what has already happened. The key to letting go of past regrets lies in acceptance. It's about making peace with the fact that things didn't go the way you wanted, and it's about forgiving yourself for not being perfect. We often hold ourselves hostage to our mistakes, thinking that by punishing ourselves through rumination, we're somehow atoning for them. But in reality, this only prolongs the suffering. To release past regrets, practice self-compassion. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes. You are human, and you did the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. Instead of dwelling on the past, focus on the lessons you've learned and how you can apply them moving forward. This shift in perspective allows you to free yourself from the weight of the past and step into a space of personal growth and healing. Letting go of fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety are powerful forces that often keep us locked in a state of overthinking. Whether it's fear of failure, fear of rejection, or the general anxiety about the unknown, these emotions can be paralyzing. The more we fear, the more we try to control the uncontrollable in an attempt to avoid the discomfort of uncertainty. This creates a vicious cycle of worry and stress. Letting go of fear doesn't mean eliminating it completely. Fear is a natural part of life, and it serves an important purpose in protecting us from danger. But when fear starts to dominate your thoughts, it becomes counterproductive. The key to letting go of fear is not to fight it, but to acknowledge it and reframe your relationship with it. Try this. When you feel fear creeping in, pause and ask yourself, what is the worst-case scenario here? What's the most realistic outcome? Often, when we break down our fears, we realize that they are exaggerated or irrational. By facing your fear head-on and questioning its validity, you can begin to loosen its grip on your mind. Over time, this practice helps reduce the hold that fear has over your life and frees you from constant anxiety. Letting go of expectations. Another significant source of stress and overthinking is our attachment to expectations of ourselves, of others, and of life. We often hold rigid ideas of how things should be, and when reality doesn't align with those expectations, we feel disappointed, frustrated, or out of control. Letting go of expectations is a powerful way to reclaim your peace. It doesn't mean giving up on your goals or desires, but it means releasing the need for everything to unfold in a specific way or on a particular timeline. Life is unpredictable, and when we allow ourselves to flow with it rather than rigidly control it, we create room for spontaneity, joy, and surprise. A useful exercise to practice letting go of expectations is to visualize the ideal outcome for a situation, but also acknowledge the possibility of alternate outcomes. When you can accept that things may unfold differently than you envisioned, you free yourself from the tension and frustration of unmet expectations. This practice shifts your focus from controlling the future to embracing the present moment. Letting go of negative self-talk. We are often our own worst critics. Negative self-talk, those inner voices that tell us we're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy of success, can keep us stuck in overthinking and self-doubt. These thoughts may arise from past experiences, societal conditioning, or comparisons to others. But the truth is, negative self-talk does nothing to help us grow or move forward. It only feeds insecurity and anxiety. To let go of negative self-talk, start by challenging the validity of those inner criticisms. Ask yourself, would I say this to a friend? Is this thought based on fact or emotion? Often, negative self-talk is based on distorted beliefs or assumptions, not reality. By recognizing this, you can begin to shift your inner dialogue towards self-compassion and encouragement. A powerful technique is to replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. When you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, pause and reframe the thought into something more empowering. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," try telling yourself, "I am doing my best and I am worthy of success." Over time, this practice will help you silence the inner critic and replace it with a voice of kindness and support. The power of surrender, letting go with trust. At the heart of letting go is trust. It's the trust that things will work out even if you don't know how. It's the trust that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you. It's the trust that by releasing control, you are making space for growth, clarity, and peace. Letting go is an act of surrender, not to defeat or passivity, but to the wisdom of the present moment. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It means choosing to stop resisting life's flow. It's the practice of allowing yourself to be guided by trust rather than fear or anxiety. Surrendering is not passive. It's active, it's courageous, and it's freeing. When you let go, you open yourself to new opportunities, to healing, and to the limitless potential that lies within you. Moving forward, letting go is a practice that takes time and patience, but the rewards are immense. By releasing what no longer serves you, whether it's past regrets, fears, expectations, or negative self-talk, you create space for peace, clarity, and joy to enter your life. The more you practice letting go, the easier it becomes, and the more naturally you'll start to respond to life with acceptance and trust. In the next chapter, we'll explore the final step in overcoming overthinking: staying present. We'll dive into the power of mindfulness and how living in the present moment can be your greatest defense against the mental noise of overthinking. For now, take a deep breath and acknowledge the courage it takes to let go. You are not just letting go of stress or overthinking. You are making room for a life that's more peaceful, more aligned, and more fulfilling. Trust that you are on the right path and that the best is yet to come. Chapter 6: Staying Present, Mastering the Art of Mindfulness. The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. Thich Nhat Hanh. If you've ever found yourself trapped in the endless whirlpool of overthinking, you'll know how exhausting it can be to live in a mind that constantly shifts between the past and the future. Your thoughts run wild, rehashing what went wrong, worrying about what could happen, or imagining worst-case scenarios that may never come to fruition. It's in these moments that we forget about the one place where we truly have control: the present. The present moment, as fleeting as it may seem, is the only moment where life actually happens. It is the only place where we can experience joy, peace, and connection. Yet, so many of us get stuck in the past or the future, leaving us disconnected from the here and now. The practice of mindfulness, the art of staying present, offers a powerful antidote to the cycle of overthinking. When you embrace mindfulness, you learn to anchor yourself in the present, where all your power lies. It's where you can find clarity amidst the chaos and calm within the storm of your thoughts. In this chapter, we'll explore the science and practice of mindfulness, diving into the powerful ways that being present can help you break free from overthinking and live a more peaceful, centered life. You'll learn how mindfulness isn't just a practice for quiet moments on a meditation cushion. It's a way of being that you can integrate into your everyday life. The goal isn't perfection or never having a wandering thought, but rather creating a deep sense of awareness and connection with the present moment, no matter what's happening around you. The power of the present moment. Before we dive into how to stay present, it's important to understand why the present moment holds so much power. The reason why so many of us overthink is because we are not fully engaged in the present. We are either dwelling on something that happened in the past or worrying about something that may or may not happen in the future. This pulls us out of the here and now and causes us to lose touch with reality. The present moment is the only place where we have control. We can't change what happened yesterday, and we can't predict what will happen tomorrow, but we can choose how we respond to what's happening right now. When we bring our attention back to the present, we become more grounded, less anxious, and more empowered to deal with whatever life throws our way. In a world that constantly demands our attention, the present moment is where we find our greatest peace. The beauty of the present is that it's always accessible. It's right here, right now. There's no need to go searching for it. All you need to do is pause, breathe, and notice what's happening in the present moment. Whether it's the feeling of your feet on the ground, the sound of birds outside your window, or the sensation of your breath moving in and out of your body. These small moments of awareness anchor you to the present and help quiet the mental noise. Mindfulness, a simple practice with profound impact. Mindfulness is a simple yet transformative practice that involves bringing your attention fully to the present moment without judgment. It's about noticing what's happening in your body, mind, and surroundings with curiosity and openness. You don't have to be a seasoned meditator to practice mindfulness. It can be as simple as paying attention to the way your hands feel as you're washing dishes, or the taste of your food as you eat. By cultivating this awareness in everyday moments, you start to break free from the habit of overthinking and become more present in your life. One of the key elements of mindfulness is the non-judgmental attitude we bring to our experiences. Often, when we're overthinking, we're judging ourselves or the situation. We might tell ourselves, "I should have done better," or "This isn't how I imagined things would go." Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and feelings without attaching labels or judgments to them. Instead of saying, "I'm anxious" or "I'm worried," mindfulness encourages us to simply notice, "I'm having the thought that I'm anxious," or "I'm noticing a feeling of worry." This subtle shift helps us detach from the emotions and thoughts, allowing them to pass more easily. Techniques for staying present. Now that we understand the power of the present moment and the basics of mindfulness, let's explore some simple techniques that you can use to stay present and avoid falling into the trap of overthinking. These techniques can be practiced throughout your day, no matter where you are or what you're doing. The more you integrate these practices into your life, the easier it becomes to stay grounded in the present and break free from the cycle of overthinking. 1. Mindful breathing. Breathing is one of the most effective ways to anchor yourself in the present moment. Whenever you feel your mind starting to race or your thoughts spiraling, bring your attention to your breath. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this process several times, focusing solely on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. This practice not only calms your mind, but also brings you back to the here and now, interrupting the pattern of overthinking. 2. Body scan. A body scan is another great way to bring your focus to the present moment. Begin by sitting or lying down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring your awareness to your body. Start at the top of your head and slowly work your way down, noticing any sensations or areas of tension as you go. Pay attention to how your body feels in each area, and if you notice any discomfort, simply observe it without judgment. This practice helps you reconnect with your body and the present moment, calming your mind in the process. 3. Grounding techniques. Grounding techniques help you reconnect with the present moment when you're feeling overwhelmed or disconnected. One simple grounding technique is the 5-4-3-2-1 exercise. To practice, look around you and name 5 things you can see. Then, listen carefully for 4 things you can hear. Next, notice 3 things you can feel, followed by 2 things you can smell. Finally, focus on 1 thing you can taste. This exercise helps you focus on your senses and bring your attention back to the present moment. 4th, mindful walking. If you find it difficult to stay present when sitting still, try practicing mindful walking. Go for a walk outside, and as you walk, pay close attention to the sensation of each step. Notice the feeling of your feet making contact with the ground, the rhythm of your breath, and the movement of your body. Allow your mind to fully engage with the experience of walking, rather than letting your thoughts drift away into the past or future. 5th, gratitude practice. Gratitude is a powerful way to anchor yourself in the present moment. When you focus on what you're grateful for right now, you shift your attention away from worries or regrets and instead cultivate appreciation for the present. Each day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be simple moments or experiences, such as a kind gesture from a friend, a beautiful sunset, or the warmth of a cup of tea. This practice helps train your mind to focus on what's going well in your life, which in turn makes it easier to stay present. Overcoming the challenges of staying present. While mindfulness and staying present may sound simple, it can be challenging, especially when overthinking has become a deeply ingrained habit. It's normal for your mind to wander, especially when you're facing stress or anxiety. But the key is not to judge yourself when your mind drifts. Instead, gently bring your attention back to the present moment without criticism. It's all part of the practice. Another challenge people often face is the belief that they don't have enough time to practice mindfulness. However, mindfulness doesn't require hours of meditation. It's about finding small moments throughout your day to reconnect with the present. Whether it's during your morning coffee, your commute, or even while waiting in line at the store, you can practice mindfulness anywhere. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Moving forward, living in the present moment. Mastering the art of staying present isn't about perfection. It's about cultivating awareness and choosing to live in the moment, no matter what life brings your way. The more you practice mindfulness, the less likely you are to fall into the trap of overthinking. You'll find that over time, the noise of your thoughts quiets, and you can navigate challenges with greater clarity, peace, and ease. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to integrate these practices into your daily life in a way that feels authentic and sustainable. For now, take a moment to appreciate the power of the present. It's yours to claim, and the more you live in it, the more freedom and peace you'll experience. Trust in the process, and know that you are always exactly where you need to be. Chapter 7. Integrating mindfulness into daily life, creating lasting change. Mindfulness isn't difficult. We just need to remember to do it. Sharon Salzberg. You've learned the theory, you've discovered the profound benefits of staying present, and you've even begun to practice mindfulness in isolated moments of your day. Now comes the real challenge, the integration. Many people begin their mindfulness practice with enthusiasm, but struggle to carry it over into the busyness of everyday life. It's easy to stay present when you're sitting in a quiet room or practicing deep breathing. But how do you stay mindful when the world around you is demanding your attention? How can you carry the calm, centered feeling of mindfulness with you through your workday, your relationships, and the daily challenges of life? The truth is, mindfulness is not something to be kept separate from your life. It's a tool to help you engage with your life in a richer, more intentional way. Integrating mindfulness into your daily life doesn't require hours of meditation or escaping to a quiet retreat. It's about creating small shifts in the way you approach each moment, each interaction, and each task. When you can weave mindfulness into the fabric of your day, it becomes a natural part of how you live, improving your focus, reducing stress, and creating a deeper sense of connection with yourself and the world around you. In this chapter, we'll explore practical strategies for integrating mindfulness into your everyday life. These aren't complex or time-consuming practices. Rather, they're simple, yet powerful ways to bring more awareness to the moments that matter most. You'll learn how to take mindfulness off the meditation cushion and into the world, turning it into a sustainable practice that supports you in your journey to stop overthinking, reduce stress, and stay present. Mindfulness in the everyday, shifting your perspective. The first step to integrating mindfulness into daily life is to shift your perspective. Mindfulness isn't a special activity you do when you have time or an isolated part of your day. It's a way of being that can be practiced in every moment. This shift in perspective requires you to stop compartmentalizing mindfulness and start seeing it as a lens through which you engage with your entire life. Whether you're brushing your teeth, walking to work, or having a conversation with a friend, there is an opportunity to be mindful. A key aspect of mindfulness is bringing your full attention to whatever you're doing in that moment. This might sound simple, but we live in a world full of distractions. How often do we eat while watching TV or scroll through our phones while talking to someone? By bringing your full awareness to each task, no matter how mundane, you can turn it into an opportunity for mindfulness. For example, when you're eating, instead of rushing through your meal or mindlessly snacking, pay attention to the taste, texture, and smell of your food. Notice how it feels in your mouth and savor each bite. This simple practice helps to ground you in the present and can transform even the most ordinary activities into moments of mindfulness. Mindful eating, a simple yet powerful practice. Let's dive deeper into one of the easiest ways to practice mindfulness every day. Mindful eating. Eating is something most of us do multiple times a day, but it's often done on autopilot. We eat while distracted by our phones, television, or thoughts, rarely taking the time to appreciate the food we're consuming. This not only leads to overthinking, but also detracts from our ability to enjoy the simple act of nourishing our bodies. Mindful eating encourages us to slow down, savor each bite, and truly engage with the experience of eating. To practice mindful eating, start by pausing before you eat. Take a moment to appreciate your food, the effort that went into preparing it, and the nourishment it provides. As you eat, pay attention to the texture, taste, and temperature of the food. Notice the sensations in your mouth, the sounds as you chew, and the feeling of satisfaction as you swallow. By being fully present during meals, you'll not only improve your digestion and enjoy your food more, but you'll also create a space where overthinking can't thrive. The simple act of being present with your food can have a profound impact on your mental clarity and stress levels. Mindfulness in relationships, being fully present with others. One of the most powerful ways to integrate mindfulness into your daily life is by bringing it into your relationships. In today's fast-paced world, many of us find ourselves distracted during conversations, thinking about what we're going to say next, checking our phones, or worrying about what's going on elsewhere. This lack of presence can lead to misunderstandings, missed connections, and a sense of disconnection from those we care about. Mindfulness in relationships is about giving the person in front of you your full attention. It's about listening without judgment or interruption and responding from a place of understanding rather than automatic reactions. When you're with someone, put aside your distractions and focus on being fully present. Notice their body language, their tone of voice, and the words they are saying. Practice listening deeply, not just to respond, but to truly understand. Being present in relationships can strengthen your bonds, reduce misunderstandings, and foster a deeper connection. Whether it's with a partner, friend, family member, or colleague, giving them your full attention can create an atmosphere of respect and empathy. Moreover, practicing mindfulness in relationships allows you to respond with more patience and compassion, rather than being swept away by the automatic thoughts or emotional reactions that often fuel overthinking. Mindful movement, bringing awareness to your body. Another powerful way to integrate mindfulness into your daily life is through mindful movement. Whether it's yoga, walking, running, or even stretching, movement can be a deeply mindful practice. In today's society, many of us spend hours sitting, disconnected from our bodies and lost in our thoughts. Mindful movement encourages you to reconnect with your body and bring your awareness to each movement you make. For example, if you practice yoga, instead of rushing through poses or thinking about what comes next, focus on the sensations in your body. Pay attention to the stretch of your muscles, the rhythm of your breath, and how your body feels as you move through each posture. If you prefer walking or running, use this time to focus on the sensation of your feet touching the ground, the sound of your breath, or the sights and sounds around you. By practicing mindful movement, You can break free from overthinking and create a sense of flow, relaxation, and connection with your body. Mindfulness at work, finding focus amidst chaos. For many people, the workplace is a prime source of stress and distraction. Between meetings, emails, and deadlines, it's easy to get lost in the chaos and lose touch with the present moment. Yet, work is one of the most powerful places to practice mindfulness. When you bring your attention to the task at hand, rather than worrying about everything you need to do or what's going wrong, you become more focused, productive, and clear-minded. One simple mindfulness practice to try at work is single tasking. Many people pride themselves on being multitaskers, but research shows that multitasking actually reduces productivity and increases stress. Instead of juggling multiple tasks at once, focus on one task at a time. Give it your full attention and notice how your performance improves and how much less mental energy you use. Whether it's responding to emails, writing reports, or having a meeting, try to bring your full presence to whatever you're doing in that moment. Creating space for stillness, mindful pause. In the busyness of life, it's easy to get caught up in a constant state of doing. We feel like we have to keep moving, keep accomplishing, keep achieving. But this constant doing can fuel overthinking and mental burnout. The practice of mindfulness encourages us to pause, to stop and take a breath, even for just a few moments. These moments of stillness allow us to reconnect with the present and refocus our minds. You can create space for stillness by incorporating short mindfulness pauses throughout your day. These can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before you start a new task, closing your eyes for a moment before responding to an email, or stepping outside for a brief walk to reset. These pauses don't require long periods of time, but they serve as reminders to stay present and reconnect with the here and now. Over time, these small pauses will add up, and you'll find that mindfulness becomes a natural part of your day. Integrating mindfulness into daily life is not about achieving perfection. It's about bringing more awareness to the present moment, cultivating a sense of presence in every action, and gradually shifting your mental patterns. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the less likely you are to fall into the trap of overthinking. By weaving mindfulness into your daily routine, through mindful eating, mindful movement, presence in relationships, and focused work, you create a life that is grounded, calm, and centered. Over time, you'll find that you have more space to breathe, more clarity to navigate life's challenges, and more peace within yourself. As you continue to practice, you'll learn to live with intention, choosing to be present rather than lost in thought. The power of mindfulness lies in its simplicity and its ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. So, take a deep breath, trust in the process, and know that with each moment of presence, you are creating a more fulfilling and peaceful life. Chapter 8. Overcoming obstacles in your mindfulness journey. How to stay on track when life gets in the way. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Buddha. As with any practice, the journey to mindfulness can feel like a roller coaster. At first, it might seem like you're getting the hang of it, finding moments of peace and presence in your day. But soon enough, life happens. Stressful situations arise, distractions pull you away, and your thoughts begin to spiral out of control once more. It's during these moments of struggle that mindfulness feels elusive, like a distant memory rather than a present possibility. And that's okay. Mindfulness isn't about achieving perfection or never having negative thoughts. It's about how you respond when those obstacles arise. This is where the true power of mindfulness lies, not in avoiding distractions or negative emotions, but in how you deal with them when they appear. In this chapter, we're going to discuss how to overcome the common obstacles that arise in your mindfulness journey. We'll explore the mental blocks, external distractions, and emotional challenges that can derail your progress, and how you can address them with compassion and resilience. Understanding that obstacles are a natural part of the process will empower you to stay the course, even when it feels difficult. Mindfulness isn't about eliminating struggles. It's about learning to meet those struggles with awareness, patience, and a sense of calm. The common obstacles on your mindfulness journey. Before we dive into strategies for overcoming obstacles, it's important to identify the most common challenges that people face when practicing mindfulness. Recognizing these hurdles will help you understand that you're not alone in your experience. Everyone faces these struggles at some point, and that's completely normal. 1. Distractions. In today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, distractions are everywhere. From constant notifications on our phones to the hum of daily life, it's easy to feel like your attention is always pulled in 100 different directions. When you're trying to practice mindfulness, these distractions can be particularly frustrating. It's difficult to focus on the present moment when the noise of the world is constantly interrupting. The good news is, mindfulness doesn't require complete silence or an absence of distractions. It's about how you relate to these distractions. When you're distracted, simply notice the distraction and bring your attention back to the present moment. This can be as simple as acknowledging the distraction, whether it's a thought, a sound, or a sensation, and then gently guiding your focus back to your breath, body, or whatever task you were engaging in. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to develop the ability to stay present, even in the midst of chaos. 2. Mind wandering. Mind wandering is one of the most common challenges in mindfulness practice. Your mind may start off focused and present, but before you know it, you're thinking about something completely unrelated. Perhaps something you forgot to do, a worry about the future, or a memory from the past. This is completely normal, and it happens to everyone, even seasoned practitioners. The key is not to judge yourself when it happens, but simply to return your focus to the present moment. Mind wandering is a natural part of the human experience, and mindfulness doesn't require that you have a completely still or empty mind. It's not about preventing thoughts from arising, but rather about noticing when they do and gently returning to your point of focus. Over time, as you practice, you'll find that your mind wanders less frequently and that it's easier to bring your attention back when it does. 3. Impatience and unrealistic expectations. Another obstacle many people face in their mindfulness practice is impatience. You may expect immediate results, such as a dramatic reduction in stress or overthinking, but mindfulness is a gradual practice. It's easy to feel discouraged if you don't see instant improvements. However, mindfulness is not a quick fix solution. It's a lifelong journey. You may have days where mindfulness feels effortless and days when it feels like a struggle. The key is to stick with it, knowing that even on the difficult days, you are still making progress. It's important to set realistic expectations and be patient with yourself. Mindfulness is not about perfection, but rather about developing a consistent practice of awareness and presence. Allow yourself the grace to experience the ups and downs of the process without judgment. Over time, the benefits will compound, and you'll begin to notice a greater sense of peace and clarity in your daily life. 4. Self-criticism. Many people begin their mindfulness journey with the expectation that they should be doing it right. And when they inevitably struggle or their minds wander, they become self-critical. This is one of the most insidious obstacles to mindfulness. Self-criticism creates a cycle of negativity that makes it even harder to stay present. When you judge yourself harshly, you're pulling yourself out of the present moment and into a future-focused worry about how you're failing. Mindfulness teaches us to observe without judgment, not only our thoughts, but also our actions. If you find yourself being self-critical, take a moment to notice the criticism and then let it go. Rather than beating yourself up, practice self-compassion. Acknowledge that you're learning and that struggling is a part of the process. Treat yourself with the same kindness that you would offer to a close friend who is going through the same thing. 5. Emotional overwhelm. Emotions are a natural part of life, and while mindfulness can help you become more aware of your emotional state, it can also bring emotions to the surface. If you've been avoiding difficult feelings or have a tendency to suppress your emotions, mindfulness can feel overwhelming at times. When we start paying attention to our thoughts and feelings, we often uncover emotions that we've been pushing away: fear, sadness, anger, or anxiety. This can make mindfulness feel uncomfortable or even discouraging. However, mindfulness isn't about avoiding difficult emotions. It's about making space for them. When strong emotions arise, instead of resisting or pushing them away, try to simply observe them. Notice how they feel in your body and what thoughts accompany them. Allow the emotions to exist without judgment, and remind yourself that they are temporary. By accepting your emotions as they come, rather than fighting them, you allow them to pass more easily. With time, you'll develop the resilience to sit with uncomfortable emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Strategies for overcoming obstacles. Now that we've identified some of the most common obstacles in mindfulness practice, let's explore some strategies for overcoming them. These strategies will help you stay grounded and committed to your practice, even when challenges arise. 1. Acknowledge and accept. One of the first steps in overcoming obstacles is to acknowledge them without judgment. Instead of avoiding or denying distractions, mind-wandering, or difficult emotions, simply accept them as part of the process. Mindfulness isn't about eliminating obstacles. It's about how we relate to them. By acknowledging that obstacles are a natural part of the journey, you take away their power to derail your practice. 2. Practice self-compassion. When you face challenges, be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a friend. If your mind wanders, gently guide it back without criticism. If you're struggling with impatience, remind yourself that progress takes time. Self-compassion helps you to stay grounded and committed to your practice, even when things don't go as planned. 3. Create a routine. Consistency is key in any practice, including mindfulness. One of the best ways to stay on track is to create a routine. Set aside time each day, whether it's in the morning, during lunch, or before bed, to practice mindfulness. This could involve a few minutes of mindful breathing, a body scan, or a short walk. Having a dedicated time for mindfulness helps you prioritize it in your day and makes it easier to stick with it. 4. Start small and build gradually. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the idea of practicing mindfulness, start small. Begin with just a few minutes each day and gradually increase the time as you feel more comfortable. The goal isn't to dive into hours of meditation right away, but to create small, sustainable moments of mindfulness throughout your day. These small moments add up over time, and before you know it, mindfulness will become a natural part of your life. 5. Embrace the process. Finally, it's important to remember that mindfulness is a process, not a destination. There will be days when it feels easy and days when it feels difficult. That's normal. Embrace the journey and trust that, with time and practice, the benefits of mindfulness will become more apparent. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. So, when challenges arise, meet them with openness, patience, and the understanding that you are exactly where you need to be on your mindfulness journey. The path to mindfulness is not always smooth, and obstacles are a natural part of the journey. But each challenge you encounter is an opportunity to deepen your practice and grow stronger in your ability to stay present. By acknowledging the obstacles, practicing self-compassion, and staying committed to the process, you'll continue to make progress. Remember that mindfulness is not about achieving a state of perfect calm, but about meeting life as it is, with awareness, patience, and presence. As you face the challenges ahead, trust in your ability to navigate them with mindfulness, knowing that each step you take is bringing you closer to a life filled with clarity, peace, and greater connection to the present moment. Chapter 9. Transforming your life with mindfulness. Cultivating a long-term practice. Mindfulness isn't about getting anywhere. It's about being where you are. Jon Kabat-Zinn. By this point, you've learned the fundamentals of mindfulness: how to focus on the present, how to quiet the overactive mind, and how to overcome the inevitable obstacles that come with a new practice. You've probably experienced moments of clarity and calm where you felt deeply connected to yourself and the world around you. But now comes the most important part. How do you sustain this practice in the long term? How do you transform mindfulness from a temporary fix into a permanent, life-enhancing way of living? Mindfulness is not a quick solution to stress or overthinking. It is a lifelong practice that can profoundly change the way you approach life. It is the tool that allows you to create space between stimulus and response, giving you the power to choose how you react to life's challenges. By cultivating mindfulness over time, you can begin to transform your habits, your relationships, and the way you relate to your thoughts and emotions. In this chapter, we'll explore how to take mindfulness beyond the initial stages of practice and integrate it deeply into your everyday life. You'll learn how to maintain a consistent mindfulness practice, how to use it as a tool for personal transformation, and how to experience lasting changes in your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. This chapter is about making mindfulness a cornerstone of your life, something that evolves and grows with you as you continue to develop and change. Creating a sustainable mindfulness routine. When you first start practicing mindfulness, it's common to feel energized and motivated. You may meditate every day, dedicate time to mindful activities, and feel a deep sense of connection to the present moment. However, over time, life's demands can begin to interfere with your practice. You might find that mindfulness becomes harder to maintain, or that you're too busy to prioritize it in your day. This is where the concept of a sustainable mindfulness routine comes into play. A sustainable mindfulness routine doesn't require hours of meditation every day. Instead, it's about incorporating mindfulness into your life in a way that feels manageable and rewarding. To create a sustainable routine, start by carving out specific times during your day for mindfulness. This could be first thing in the morning, during lunch, or before bed. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. The key is consistency. By making mindfulness a regular part of your schedule, you are more likely to stick with it in the long term. In addition to formal mindfulness practice, try to incorporate moments of mindfulness throughout your day. For example, you can take a few mindful breaths before answering the phone, focus on the sensations of your feet as you walk, or practice mindful listening when speaking with others. These small moments of mindfulness will add up over time and help you stay grounded in the present. Using mindfulness as a tool for personal growth. One of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness is its ability to catalyze personal growth. As you deepen your practice, you may begin to notice patterns in your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that you had previously been unaware of. Mindfulness helps you become an observer of your own experience, giving you insight into the habits and tendencies that shape your life. This self-awareness can be a game changer, allowing you to make conscious choices and break free from automatic reactions. For example, mindfulness can help you identify and challenge negative thought patterns or limiting beliefs. When you become aware of how you react to certain situations, you can begin to change your response. Instead of reacting with stress, anxiety, or frustration, you can choose to respond with calm, clarity, and intention. This shift in perspective is at the heart of personal transformation. Mindfulness helps you develop the mental clarity and emotional resilience needed to navigate life's challenges with ease. Another way mindfulness fosters personal growth is by helping you develop greater emotional intelligence. As you practice mindfulness, you'll become more attuned to your emotions, noticing subtle shifts in your mood, energy, and reactions. This heightened emotional awareness allows you to better understand your feelings and respond to them in healthy ways. Rather than suppressing or avoiding difficult emotions, you'll learn to sit with them, observe them without judgment, and process them in a way that promotes healing and growth. Mindfulness and stress reduction. Cultivating calm in the midst of chaos. One of the most well-known benefits of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress. By focusing on the present moment and observing your thoughts without judgment, you can create a sense of calm and clarity even in the midst of life's challenges. But mindfulness isn't just about managing stress in the short term. It's also about changing your relationship with stress over time. As you continue your mindfulness practice, you may notice that you become less reactive to stress. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by every challenge or setback, you'll develop the ability to pause, take a deep breath, and approach the situation with a clear mind. This shift in how you relate to stress can have profound effects on your overall well-being. By developing a mindful response to stress, you'll be less likely to experience the negative physical and emotional effects of chronic stress, such as anxiety, fatigue, and burnout. Furthermore, mindfulness helps you develop a greater sense of resilience. Instead of being knocked off balance by life's difficulties, you'll learn how to stay grounded in the present moment. This doesn't mean that challenges will disappear, but it does mean that you'll be better equipped to handle them with grace and composure. With practice, mindfulness can help you cultivate a sense of inner peace that remains unshaken, no matter what life throws your way. Mindfulness and relationships, enhancing connection with others. Mindfulness is also a powerful tool for improving your relationships. When you are present and fully engaged with others, you are able to listen deeply, communicate more effectively, and create stronger, more meaningful connections. Mindfulness helps you let go of distractions and give your full attention to the person in front of you. This creates an environment of respect and empathy where both parties feel heard and understood. In addition to improving communication, mindfulness can help you navigate conflicts in a more constructive way. Instead of reacting impulsively or emotionally during a disagreement, mindfulness allows you to pause and respond thoughtfully. This pause creates space for reflection, allowing you to choose a response that aligns with your values and goals. By practicing mindfulness in your relationships, you create an atmosphere of trust, understanding, and compassion. Mindfulness can also help you break free from unhealthy relational patterns. If you notice that you tend to react defensively or shut down during difficult conversations, mindfulness can help you become aware of these tendencies. By observing your thoughts and emotions in the moment, you can shift your response and create more positive outcomes. Over time, mindfulness allows you to develop healthier, more balanced relationships with others. The long-term benefits of mindfulness. A life transformed. The benefits of mindfulness are not just temporary fixes. They are long-lasting and far-reaching. As you cultivate a regular mindfulness practice, you'll begin to notice profound changes in your life. Your mind will become clearer, your emotions more balanced, and your interactions with others more compassionate and meaningful. You'll experience greater resilience in the face of life's challenges, and you'll find yourself more grounded in the present moment. Mindfulness also promotes physical health. Research has shown that regular mindfulness practice can lower blood pressure, improve sleep, and reduce the risk of chronic diseases related to stress. By reducing the negative effects of stress on your body, mindfulness helps you create a more vibrant, energetic life. Most importantly, mindfulness helps you develop a deeper sense of connection with yourself and the world around you. When you are fully present in each moment, you begin to experience life in a richer, more profound way. You develop a greater appreciation for the small joys of everyday life, and you become more attuned to the beauty and wonder that surrounds you. Mindfulness is not something that can be finished or mastered. It is a lifelong journey of growth, learning, and transformation. The more you practice, the more you'll discover about yourself, your thoughts, and your relationship with the world. Mindfulness is about learning to live with intention, to be fully present in every moment, and to navigate life's challenges with calm, clarity, and compassion. As you continue to practice mindfulness, remember that there is no destination to reach, only a way of being to cultivate. Every moment is an opportunity to practice, and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Mindfulness doesn't require perfection, only presence. And as you continue to integrate mindfulness into your life, you'll find that it becomes a natural, effortless part of who you are. So, take a deep breath, embrace the journey, and trust that with each moment of mindfulness, you are transforming your life. You are creating a life that is grounded in the present, balanced in its emotions, and filled with purpose. Mindfulness is your tool for navigating the complexities of life with ease and clarity. And as you continue your practice, you will discover the profound joy and peace that comes from truly living in the moment. Chapter 10. Embracing the Power of Now, Living in the Present Every Day. The present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all moments. Thich Nhat Hanh. As we move into the final stretch of this journey, we come to one of the most profound and essential lessons of all, embracing the power of now. You've learned so many powerful tools for quieting the mind, reducing stress, and cultivating a sense of presence. But all of these techniques ultimately lead to one simple truth. The present moment is the foundation for everything. When you are truly able to live in the here and now, you unlock an entire world of possibilities. The past has already happened, and the future hasn't yet arrived. What you have and what you can control is this very moment. This chapter is dedicated to helping you embrace the power of now fully and completely, so that you can start living your life in a way that's deeply connected, grounded, and mindful every single day. At its core, mindfulness is about bringing awareness to the present moment. It's about realizing that, despite all the distractions and noise of daily life, the most important moment you can experience is the one you're in right now. When we live in a constant state of worry about the past or anxiety about the future, we lose touch with the richness of life unfolding in the present. How often do we rush through our days, trying to get to the next task, the next milestone, or the next moment of happiness, only to find ourselves exhausted, discontent, or feeling disconnected from our own lives? Mindfulness teaches us that when we stop and fully engage with the present, we create space for joy, peace, and fulfillment to enter our lives in ways we may not have imagined. This final chapter is about developing an ongoing relationship with the present moment so that you can experience life with more clarity, peace, and joy. We'll dive into how to keep mindfulness at the forefront of your daily routine, how to overcome the pull of distractions, and how to stay grounded even in the busiest of times. It's about creating lasting habits that keep you in the flow of the now, so that you can move through your life with intention, purpose, and presence. By the end of this chapter, you'll understand how to cultivate the mindset that allows you to not only appreciate the present, but thrive within it, bringing greater meaning and satisfaction to every moment. Letting go of the need for perfection. One of the greatest obstacles to living in the present moment is the pressure we place on ourselves to be perfect. In a world that constantly encourages us to do more, be more, and achieve more, it's easy to feel like we're never quite enough. The perfectionist mindset keeps us focused on what's next rather than what's now. We feel we must be doing everything right before we can truly experience happiness or peace. The irony is that the pursuit of perfection often leads to stress, dissatisfaction, and burnout, making it harder for us to truly experience the present in all its richness. Living in the now requires letting go of the need for perfection. When you embrace mindfulness, you begin to release the judgment that comes with striving for ideal outcomes. Instead of viewing each moment as something that needs to be fixed or perfected, you see it for what it is, a beautiful, imperfect experience unfolding in real time. Whether you're meditating, talking to a loved one, or simply drinking a cup of tea, the goal is not to do it perfectly, but to fully immerse yourself in the experience. Perfection isn't necessary for mindfulness. It's the authenticity and awareness of the present moment that matters. When you let go of this pressure to be perfect, you give yourself permission to simply be, to show up as you are, flaws and all. This shift in mindset is liberating. It allows you to experience life in its natural state, with all its ups and downs, and still find peace in the present moment. Mindfulness encourages you to embrace imperfection and to recognize that each moment, no matter how messy or unremarkable it may seem, is an opportunity for connection, growth, and joy. The challenge of distractions: staying present in a distracted world. We live in a world that's constantly pulling our attention in a million different directions. From notifications on our phones to the demands of work and personal responsibilities, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information and distractions that surround us every day. These distractions can pull us away from the present moment, making it difficult to focus on what truly matters and experience life as it unfolds. Staying present in such a distracted world requires conscious effort. It's not always easy, and it takes practice, but it's entirely possible. The first step is recognizing the distractions for what they are, things that are pulling you out of the present and into a future that hasn't yet arrived. A big part of mindfulness is learning how to create boundaries between yourself and these distractions. For example, you might set aside specific times each day to disconnect from technology or designate certain places where you can be fully present without outside interruptions. This could be as simple as turning off your phone for a few minutes during meals, or taking short breaks during your workday to practice mindfulness. But it's not just about disconnecting from the outside world. It's also about learning how to disconnect from the internal distractions that often fill our minds. We tend to be bombarded by thoughts, worries, and mental chatter, all of which pull us away from the present moment. Mindfulness teaches us how to observe these thoughts without becoming entangled in them. Instead of identifying with the constant stream of thoughts, we can step back and simply notice them as they come and go. This shift in perspective helps us avoid getting caught up in our internal distractions, allowing us to stay grounded in the now. Cultivating presence in everyday activities. One of the most powerful ways to live in the present is to cultivate mindfulness in everyday activities. Mindfulness isn't just for meditation. It's for every moment of your life, whether you're brushing your teeth, walking to work, or washing the dishes. Each activity offers an opportunity to be fully present. When you bring your full attention to whatever you are doing, you enhance the experience and deepen your connection to the present moment. Start by picking a few routine activities and consciously choosing to practice mindfulness while doing them. For example, when you take a shower, pay attention to the sensation of the water on your skin, the smell of the soap, and the sound of the water cascading down. When you eat, savor the taste and texture of the food and truly enjoy the experience of nourishment. The key is to slow down and be intentional with your attention. By focusing on the present moment during these everyday activities, you create more space for mindfulness to permeate your life. Over time, these small moments of mindfulness begin to accumulate and create a deeper sense of presence. You'll find that you start to live more intentionally, with greater awareness of the details and beauty in your life. These moments also build momentum for larger, more mindful practices, such as meditation or mindful breathing, and can serve as a foundation for more consistent mindfulness throughout the day. Mindful relationships, connecting with others in the present moment. One of the greatest joys of living in the present is the ability to connect deeply with the people around you. Mindfulness has a transformative effect on relationships. When we are truly present with others, we show up in a way that allows for more genuine, authentic connections. We are not distracted by our own thoughts, our phones, or the stresses of the day. We are fully engaged in the conversation, the shared experience, and the bond we are creating with that person. Mindful listening is a key element in cultivating deeper connections with others. Instead of thinking about what you're going to say next or getting lost in your own internal dialogue, you simply listen. You focus on the words, the tone of voice, and the emotions behind what the other person is sharing. This level of listening fosters empathy, understanding, and trust. When you practice mindfulness in your relationships, you are not only enhancing your connection with others, but you are also giving them the gift of your full presence. This doesn't mean that relationships are free from challenges or conflicts. In fact, mindfulness can be a powerful tool for managing conflict. When faced with difficult conversations, mindfulness helps you stay grounded, allowing you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. It helps you to remain open, calm, and present, even in the most challenging of situations. By embracing mindfulness in your relationships, you create an environment of openness, mutual respect, and deeper connection. The key to a truly mindful life is integrating mindfulness into everything you do. It's not about achieving a state of constant calm or eliminating all distractions. It's about being fully present with whatever is happening right now in this very moment. The power of now lies in your ability to experience life as it is, without the need for perfection, without the pull of distractions, and without worrying about the future or ruminating on the past. As you continue your journey of mindfulness, remember that it's not about perfecting the practice. It's about committing to being fully present every day. This is a lifelong journey, and each moment is an opportunity to practice, grow, and deepen your connection to the present. When you embrace the power of now, you open yourself up to a life filled with clarity, peace, joy, and authenticity. Let mindfulness guide you to live each day with intention, and may you continue to discover the richness of life that exists in the present moment. Chapter 11. Navigating Life's Challenges with Mindfulness. Out of difficulties grow miracles. Jean de la Bruyère. As we approach the final chapter of this audiobook, it's time to discuss one of the most powerful aspects of mindfulness, its ability to help us navigate life's challenges with grace, resilience, and clarity. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, whether it's dealing with stress at work, managing conflict in our relationships, handling loss, or facing moments of uncertainty and fear. But through it all, mindfulness offers us a tool that allows us to stay grounded and centered, no matter what life throws our way. In this chapter, we'll explore how mindfulness can be your anchor in times of difficulty, helping you stay present and calm, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. We'll delve into how mindfulness can help you respond to challenges with greater emotional awareness, improved decision-making, and a deeper sense of compassion for yourself and others. Whether you're facing a small hurdle or a significant life crisis, the practices and insights we'll discuss here will empower you to approach these situations with a sense of peace, clarity, and purpose. Mindfulness as a tool for emotional resilience. One of the most important aspects of mindfulness is its ability to cultivate emotional resilience, the capacity to bounce back from adversity with a sense of strength and composure. Life is not without its difficulties, and our emotions often fluctuate in response to external events. But mindfulness teaches us to observe our emotions without getting overwhelmed by them. Rather than letting our emotions dictate our actions, mindfulness allows us to step back, acknowledge the emotions we're feeling, and choose how we want to respond. When faced with a challenging situation, whether it's an argument with a loved one, a difficult decision at work, or a personal setback, mindfulness helps you remain grounded. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting emotions cloud your judgment, you can pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully. This pause creates space for emotional clarity. You can feel your emotions without being consumed by them, allowing you to take a more measured, compassionate approach to the situation. For instance, If you're feeling frustrated at work because of a tight deadline or difficult task, mindfulness can help you shift from a state of overwhelm to one of focused presence. By acknowledging the frustration without judgment, you can move from reacting emotionally to acting with intention. You can choose to take a step back, prioritize your tasks, and find a way to move forward with a clearer, calmer mindset. Over time, this ability to regulate your emotional responses becomes more automatic, and you'll find that your resilience in the face of adversity grows stronger. Mindfulness in conflict, responding, not reacting. Conflicts are an inevitable part of life. Whether it's a disagreement with a friend, a miscommunication with a colleague, or a family member's criticism, conflict can arise at any time, often triggering emotional reactions that escalate the situation. But mindfulness offers a powerful way to approach conflict with clarity and presence. Instead of reacting impulsively, whether by raising your voice, shutting down, or retreating into defensiveness, you can use mindfulness to respond from a place of calm, openness, and empathy. The key to using mindfulness in conflict is to slow down and create space between the stimulus, the trigger of the conflict, and your response. Instead of automatically reacting to the situation, you pause and check in with yourself. You observe your emotional state without judgment. Are you feeling angry, hurt, frustrated, or defensive? By simply acknowledging your feelings, you gain clarity on what's driving your reaction. This awareness gives you the ability to respond intentionally, rather than simply reacting out of habit. For example, in the middle of an argument, instead of reacting with defensiveness or anger, you can pause for a moment, take a few deep breaths, and choose to listen with curiosity. By doing this, you open up the possibility for productive communication, empathy, and resolution. Mindfulness allows you to stay present in the conversation instead of getting lost in your emotions or in the narrative of right versus wrong. By choosing to respond mindfully, you shift the dynamic of the conflict, moving it from a place of confrontation to a space of understanding and mutual respect. Mindfulness and self-compassion. Giving yourself grace. One of the greatest gifts mindfulness offers is the ability to cultivate self-compassion. When life gets tough, it's easy to become harsh and critical of ourselves. We might tell ourselves that we should be handling the situation better, or that we're failing in some way. But mindfulness encourages us to treat ourselves with kindness, especially during difficult times. Instead of berating yourself for your perceived shortcomings, mindfulness invites you to offer yourself the same compassion you would extend to a friend or loved one. Self-compassion is not about letting ourselves off the hook or avoiding responsibility. Rather, it's about acknowledging that we are human. We all make mistakes, face challenges, and experience moments of difficulty. What matters is how we treat ourselves in those moments. When we approach ourselves with compassion, we release the burden of self-criticism and open ourselves up to healing and growth. For instance, if you've made a mistake at work, mindfulness encourages you to acknowledge your feelings of disappointment or frustration without judgment. Instead of spiraling into self-blame, you practice self-compassion by reminding yourself that mistakes are a part of learning and growth. You might say to yourself, "It's okay to make mistakes. I am doing my best, and I can learn from this." This simple act of self-compassion helps you move through difficult moments with greater ease and emotional clarity. Embracing uncertainty. Staying present in the face of the unknown life is inherently uncertain. We don't always know what the future holds, and this uncertainty can often create fear and anxiety. Whether it's worrying about a health issue, wondering how a relationship will unfold, or stressing over financial security. Our minds are constantly filled with thoughts about the future, but mindfulness teaches us that we can't control what will happen, and that obsessing over the unknown only robs us of our ability to live fully in the present. When faced with uncertainty, Mindfulness helps us stay anchored in the now. Instead of getting lost in worries about what might or might not happen, we return our focus to the present moment. We remind ourselves that in this moment, we are okay. We have everything we need to face whatever comes our way. By practicing mindfulness, we reduce the mental chatter that often surrounds uncertainty and open ourselves up to a sense of peace and acceptance. For example, if you're facing a challenging health diagnosis or an uncertain job situation, mindfulness helps you approach the situation with a clear mind and an open heart. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios or spinning into worry, you focus on the present moment. What can you do right now to support your well-being? What steps can you take today to prepare for whatever the future may hold? Mindfulness allows you to stay present with your feelings, manage your anxiety, and move forward with a sense of calm and grounded confidence. Mindfulness in times of grief and loss. One of the most profound and painful challenges we face in life is loss, whether it's the death of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or the loss of a dream. Grief is an inevitable part of the human experience, and it can leave us feeling broken, confused, and emotionally overwhelmed. But mindfulness offers a way to move through grief with a sense of compassion, acceptance, and presence. When we are grieving, it's easy to become consumed by our emotions, thoughts, and memories. We might find ourselves replaying the past, wishing we had done things differently, or imagining a future without our loved one. Mindfulness helps us acknowledge and accept our grief without judgment. Rather than trying to push away the painful feelings, we embrace them as part of the healing process. We give ourselves permission to feel our emotions fully and to be present with our pain. Mindfulness can also help us find moments of peace and connection during the grieving process. For example, you might take a walk in nature and allow yourself to fully experience the sights, sounds, and sensations of the present moment. This doesn't diminish the grief, but it provides a brief respite, allowing you to reconnect with the world around you and find comfort in the present. By practicing mindfulness in times of loss, we honor our emotions and give ourselves the space to heal. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for navigating life's challenges, but it's not about avoiding difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. Life will continue to present us with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of pain. But with mindfulness, we can face these challenges with greater resilience, emotional clarity, and compassion. Mindfulness teaches us to stay present, even when life feels chaotic or uncertain. It allows us to respond to challenges with intention and grace, rather than reacting impulsively or getting caught in negative patterns. By integrating mindfulness into our daily lives, we build the emotional resilience needed to handle whatever comes our way. We learn to be kinder to ourselves, more compassionate toward others, and more grounded in the present moment. As you move forward, remember that mindfulness is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong practice that helps you face challenges with a sense of calm, acceptance, and confidence. Life will continue to have its ups and downs, but with mindfulness, you'll always have the tools you need to navigate it with clarity, strength, and grace.